Do not rush. It is best to go at your own pace and follow the path you believe in. We carefully read through each clause of the contract together. Hello, this is Tanaka. Is Mr. Yamada there? Waking up early to study is good for your health and kills 2 birds with 1 stone. I could not help but feel sympathy after learning about his unhappy upbringing. I'm a bit tired of that two-faced attitude. Someone I met while traveling gave me wisdom. It is a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Sato. Discussions continue regarding the funding for the new welfare policy. A new advertisement was posted on the outer fence of the construction site. The delicate patterns of Kaga-yuzen are the crystallization of the high-level skills and aesthetic sense of craftsmen. The children went off to school energetically. I am waiting for the train at the station. Walking after dinner makes me feel like my stomach is getting lighter. Dishes using local agricultural products are popular with tourists. The arrangement of the main points in his talk is easy to understand. That shop is an irresistible place for those who belong to the sweet tooth group. Do you need to reach a conclusion on the spot? You can think about it overnight. The airport was closed all day due to unprecedented heavy snow. The seawater stung my wound, and I reflexively grimaced. There are signs that an intruder entered through the window. In winter, the number of patients complaining of sore throats increases. There is a risk that this plan might fail. This taste resembles my mother's cooking from long ago. Kyoto in autumn is filled with fiery red leaves. The poster on the wall peeled off due to humidity, and the edges curled up. I decided to take the day off today because my menstrual cramps are severe. It was a game I couldn't take my eyes off of. The children lined up to learn the basic stance of kendo. Euler's identity dollar, EI/pi, plus 1 equals $0 is known as the most beautiful formula in mathematical history. A proton gradient is formed by the mitochondrial electron transport chain. As a result of the test, it was found that the person is a carrier of a specific virus. An unidentifiable fear of the dark tightened my chest. I grew up surrounded by my grandmother's affection. My grandfather ages year by year, and his walking speed has slowed down. Listen carefully to the beautiful chirping of wild birds in the forest. Cold rain has been falling quietly since the morning. I have an interview with my first-choice company tomorrow. The new model has a processing speed in a different league. She has a reputation for being a virtuous person. After a long convalescence, I finally recovered. The amount of salt is just right, so I feel like I could drink many bowls of this soup. They are protesting to the referee, but the ruling is unlikely to be overturned. The Parliament ratified the treaty, and it officially went into effect. Since I started attending cram school, my math grades have improved significantly compared to before. The employees agreed with the reform plan with one voice. Thanks to the bib, the clothes stayed clean. An attitude of respecting religious differences is required. It is easy to understand when explained using diagrams. Smoking outside of designated areas is strictly prohibited by law. Late night fireworks are prohibited in this park. She has a delicate build, but is surprisingly strong. I intend to enjoy the local cuisine while on my business trip. This road is a dead end, so let us turn back. Mixing skim milk into the bread dough makes the flavor richer. The sound of stepping on fallen leaves was pleasant, so I intentionally took a detour home. You are just nitpicking the other person's faults and have not made a single constructive proposal. I turned off the room lights and relaxed with only the light of an aromatic candle. I put money in the donation box to contribute to the disaster-stricken area. DNA polymerase is synthesizing a new strand at the replication fork. Seeing the sign from the manager, the runner appears to be attempting to steal a base. After studying abroad, he speaks English fluently. I felt a bit relieved to run into an acquaintance at the venue. The number of companies that value involvement with the local community is increasing. I am Park, majoring in Japanese at letter 3007 University. This work is scheduled to be screened at the film festival next month. The sky suddenly turned dark, and heavy rain started to fall. I carried out the duties while thoroughly checking the contract details. Cook the rice on high heat all at once, and let it steam for a longer time. Voices of doubt are rising against redevelopment plans that proceed without carefully taking the residents' intentions into account. The audience's applause did not stop, so the singer appeared again for an encore. I carefully sharpened my pencil with a knife to prepare for the sketch. You don't have to force a smile. Through the gaps in the fog, the distant mountain range finally appeared. The focus of the conversation is shifting. The garden where flowers bloom in each of the 4 seasons heals the hearts of visitors. I tapped the keyboard desperately before the deadline. With just this one bottle, your skincare, including toner, lotion, and serum, is complete. Negotiations will collapse if you concede too much to the demands. I had a portrait drawn as a souvenir of my trip. Unfortunately, it is raining today, so let's look for a place we can enjoy indoors. After the rain, the puddles on the road evaporated quickly. Great patience was required until I achieved success. I am boiling water in an electric kettle to brew my morning coffee. My friend is on the other side of the road. According to the weather report, it will be sunny across the country tomorrow. The airport was closed due to heavy snow, and the transport of medical supplies was delayed. Children are playing lively in the park. Legends of Foxfire have been passed down since ancient times in the sacred grove of the village. The setting sun reflected beautifully on the lake surface. The contract will be continued if both parties agree. Please send the documents by mail. Please be sure to call us if you think you might arrive late. I keep some small change ready for the vending machine. Man is only free while dreaming. I was invited to a friend's wedding. A bicycle and a car collided at the intersection. Cold days continue when winter comes. It is important to exercise every day for your health. Let's return the plan to a blank slate. The secret to the umami in Japanese cuisine lies in carefully prepared dashi stock. The police are continuing the search for the missing child. It is a sad story of 2 lovers who committed double suicide, vowing to meet again in the next life. Baudrillard viewed modern society as a world dominated by simulacra, which are copies without originals. The scenery of that day is still unforgettable, even now. During my student days, I seriously thought about working overseas someday. She is expected to be a promising researcher for the future. Instead of erasing a mistake, immediately let's review it first. The election was won by a narrow margin, and the ballot counting continued until late at night. I requested a detective to investigate the case of the lost key. Going clam digging with the family during Golden Week is a tradition. Since the fever persisted, I went to see a pediatrician. He has no relatives and lives in a facility. That amendment was not approved by the Diet. Do not tell anyone about that matter. After the tournament, the tension dissolved and I burned out. This result was inevitable and is not surprising. I made a mount for the poster with cardboard. Integrate the new system into the existing workflow. It is a tradition for the whole family to go to a shrine for the first New Year visit on New Year's Day. This country has a high output of oil. The children went off to school energetically. He is known as an authority on quantum physics. The statue was erected in commemoration of the leader of the revolution. Her joke completely melted the tension in the room. State regulations vary in detail, depending on the region. Even if I am out of breath, I have no choice but to climb the stairs. The episode in that chapter brought the protagonists' past to life vividly. A big rainbow appeared after the rain. A monkey is climbing a tree. No matter how long I waited, the bus didn't come and I started to feel anxious. I received a diploma in tea ceremony from my master. The park is full of children in the evening. Traditional school songs are still sung in elementary schools. I have to finish this job within 1 hour. What is under the chair? A Japanese poem in the 5 to 7 to 5 to 7 to 7 form is called a tanka. The story in this book was very touching. I took a walk in the plum grove while surrounded by a sweet aroma. The finale of the fireworks display, with a series of large shells, was truly a masterpiece. He is a picky eater. When the speech ended, there was a burst of unanimous applause. Suddenly, he announced that he would resign from the company. He is a veteran pilot who flies international routes. The supporters and opponents clashed fiercely, and the venue fell into an uproar. He is still an amateur, but there is something moving about his performance. Accounting closes the books at the end of the month and verifies the figures. I cannot stand having my freedom restricted. I want to obtain a hazardous materials engineer license, to broaden the scope of my work. On weekends, I leave the city and refresh myself with forest bathing. I got tired of city life and suddenly felt homesick. I like uniforms where blue is the accent color. The sunlight is warm today. Old photographs quietly tell the story of the atmosphere of that era. It seems I missed my friend in the crowd. A small lighthouse stood alone at the end of the road. The inability to quit sweets might be a sugar addiction. It is important to set up a safe environment for the baby. Those without the spirit of independence will surely rely on others. Those who rely on others will surely fear others. My heart ached while looking at the photo exhibition of World War II. I read in detail about the reforms of the Meiji Restoration in the textbook. Wrap the rice ball with nori, seaweed, and put it in the bento box. I drew a diagram along the squares of the graph paper. Dark rooms are a little scary. A new shopping mall was built along the private railway line. This novel is written based on actual historical events. An old mansion stood all by itself, deep in the forest. The older brother takes care of his younger brother. I warmed myself by a bonfire on the beach. A wetland area where many migratory birds gather spreads near the mouth of the river. Dispersion by a prism is a phenomenon where rainbow colors separate because the refractive index varies with the wavelength of light. Calm your anger and take a deep breath first. How much is this meat per 100 grams? I was caught in a sudden evening shower and took shelter under the eaves of an old shop. The new president declared that he would break down the old evils pervasive in the organization and carry out reforms. The central limit theorem states that as the sample size increases, the distribution of the sample mean approaches a normal distribution. There is still time before the deadline, so let's review it. When it comes to autumn fruits, pears are definitely the best. I organized taxes and public charges before the final accounts and checked the expense entry. I could not reach the shelf, so I stood on my tiptoes. That horse is friendly and came up to me right away. The craftsman carves a beautiful Buddhist statue out of a single log. You should not do things she dislikes, even as a joke. I reserved a tiered seat along the river to enjoy the fireworks display from a prime spot. My grandfather's old clock still keeps time accurately. The radio broadcast is inaudible due to noise. The dirt on the window glass bothers me. T-shirts with brand logos are very popular. The station staff was running around the premises, looking hurried. Let's greet people with a cheerful voice. He made a presentation at the international conference, making full use of 3 languages. You dreams of becoming a game designer in the future. If you could start your life over, would you choose the same path? I visited the local guardian deity during the new year. A group that plotted the assassination of a key figure was arrested before they could act. A bird has started building a nest on a tree branch. Please confirm the details of the order before proceeding to payment. He was in charge of the script for a popular drama and suddenly became a sot after scriptwriter. The company pays for the employees' transportation expenses. The master's training is strict, but there is much to learn. Suddenly, he announced that he would resign from the company. She took a cold attitude toward me. I stay confined in my room before a deadline, and just right. The plays by the Shiki Theatrical Company are always moving. A sad accident occurred where a passenger plane crashed due to bad weather. When you have a cold, you should eat things that are easy to digest, such as rice porridge. A clear individuality is shown in the way she chooses her clothes. My grandfather worked in a mine when he was young. The sound of waves hitting the quay in the harbor continued until night. The table looks neat when the dishes are lined up beautifully. He took a week off and went on a refreshing trip to a southern island. Between tea and coffee, I prefer the latter. The fish market near the port is crowded with tourists from the morning. I slept soundly last night, so I have been energetic since morning. We want to negotiate with them on an equal footing. Cheers like a rumble of the earth and fight songs are echoing from the stands. That magazine named Casa introduces beautiful homes and lifestyles. Is it possible this is the place that was used for a drama shoot? The batting lineup hammered out hits, and the venue went wild. I visited the 7 lucky gods during the new year. This meat is a bit tough, so please chew it well. They scrappily pushed the ball in from a scramble in front of the goal. Seeing the sign from the manager, the runner appears to be attempting to steal a base. If you don't have any particular plans, why don't we have an online drinking party tonight? Cows on the farm were leisurely grazing on grass. When summer comes, fireworks festivals are held almost every week in this town. I climbed the steep stairs all at once. The child drew their own hand, using a flesh-colored crayon. He gently took an old photo out from inside his jacket. He decided to change jobs to protect his wife and child. If you have real ability, the results will follow. Please contact me if you will be coming home late. I gave a shout of let's go and started climbing the mountain. The noise from the construction interferes with my studies. Clouds are hanging over the mountain, and it looks like the weather is going to change. The terms of that deal are too good to be true, so there must be a catch somewhere.